It's Coach Rye from Functional Flex, Team FFLEX. I'm here real quick going to tell you about your muscle building nutrition. So this keeps coming up, keep seeing it around that there seems to be a misconception that you can stay super lean with really low calories all the time and still build muscle mass. However, this is actually not the case. Yes, you can be lean and build muscle, but you cannot stay in a caloric deficit and build muscle. So what this means, you guys, if you didn't know, I'm going to give you the quick breakdown. You have a maintenance level of caloric intake, okay? There is a level, like right now I'm 220 pounds. For me to maintain 220 pounds, there's a certain amount of calories, certain amount of energy output, etc. that I'm at a maintenance here. So if I keep eating the same, I keep training the same, I'm going to stay at 220. Now, if I want to lose fat, I'm going to drop my calories down. So I'm going to go to a lower than caloric maintenance, so into a deficit. Caloric deficit produces fat loss because now my body is burning more than it's taking in, which means it turns to body fat stores to burn for energy. Okay? Now, if I want to build muscle, however, if I want to actually add mass to my body, I have to go into what's called a caloric surplus. So my calories have to go above this maintenance number to a new caloric surplus number. And once we get up in that number, that's when we can start packing on muscle, more strength, etc., size, weight in general. So the misconception is, yeah, you want to be lean, so you got to keep your calories real low, right? You want to keep them in a caloric deficit and try to build muscle. However, you can only build muscle in a caloric surplus. You can only burn fat in a caloric deficit. So, therefore, for you to be in a spot where you think you're going to do both, you're going to have to be doing some magical unicorn bullshit. I'm going to tell you straight up the truth. It is much better for you to try to focus on one or the other to get the results you want to get. So, if you're trying to build muscle, you need to be in a caloric surplus. How do you know what amount of surplus you need to be in? First things first, you got to know your caloric maintenance, okay? Very simple. If you're already tracking your stuff, you're paying attention to meal plans, whatever, a lot of time, you're already going to know the answer to that, where your calories are in the ballpark. If you don't, very simple. Go download an app called MyFitnessPal, track 3, 4, 5, 6 days of food, something like that. See where you're at, check your average. That's going to give you your kind of maintenance caloric intake. Now, here's how you guys want to start. If you want to stay as lean as you can, even if you're in a caloric deficit and you want to work your way up right now, or if you had a maintenance and you want to work your way up into a build, if you want to stay as lean as you can, very simple. You got to add your calories in slowly, okay? A lot of people make the mistake of like piling on 1,000 calories right out the gate. You had 2,000 a day, you had 3,000, that's going to be too much of a surplus. You're going to put on some mass, but it's going to be a lot of fat with it. If you want to build quality lean muscle mass, right, and minimize body fat, you want to do it at a slow, gradual pace. So start with like 200, 300 calories added, okay? Add that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Kind of monitor your progress, take measurements, take pictures, take your weight, etc. Pay attention to what's going on with the body, and then keep increasing your calories. If you're in a pretty good, healthy spot with your metabolism, you know you've like a fast metabolism, quote unquote, you can probably add 500 right out the gate and be okay. But I always say, if you don't know, if you haven't done a build phase in a while, if you've been in a caloric deficit for a very long time, or whatever, you just haven't been paying attention, it's a much better option to kind of progressively add those calories in over time, because that's going to allow you to stay lean, it's going to allow you to stay on top, and it's going to allow you to build muscle mass. And that's how you get the ideal body composition, right? Because we can stay as lean as we were, or approximately, and build more muscle, which is going to make you look exactly how you want to look, okay? So that's the ideal, you guys. If you want to build muscle, get into a caloric surplus. This does not matter, by the way, if you're a male or female. A lot of times people think this is different. This is the same thing for everybody. You're either in a maintenance, where you're leveling out at the same. You're either going to be in a surplus where you're building, or you're in a deficit where you're cutting. Those are your only options. So if you're trying to build some muscle, get your calories in a surplus, do it at a slow, gradual pace, pay attention to progress, and make some fucking gains. Coach Rye is out.